Begin by staggering the ends of your core fibres. I'm using 3 strands of flax upholstery twine. Using your chosen wrapping thread, begin to wrap a small section. You need just enough so that you can comfortably bend it round into a U shape, and then begin to wrap all of the core fibres together so that you're covering all of the strands. You'll see that you've created a little loop, and this is the way that I start all of my coil baskets. Take your time to wrap neatly, don't leave any gaps. When you've wrapped a short section, stop to measure it around the cone. The wrap section wants to fit all of the way around that little stem. If you're not quite there yet, keep wrapping, but stop regularly to check again. Once you've got the right length, you need to use a blunt-ended needle like a tapestry needle to pass your wrapping thread through that little loop that you made at the beginning. Now wrap the core again 2 or 3 times before making another joining stitch into that loop. Just carry on doing that until you've worked all the way around the loop. For the rest of this round, when you make a joining stitch, you'll be going around and underneath the wrapped core from the original round. For this little project, you're going to want to keep the amount of core fibres the same. So when one runs out, just place another up to the wrap section and then carry on wrapping. Try to keep your joining stitches evenly spaced, it's just going to give you a nicer finish. When your wrapping fibre is running low, cut a new length, lay a short amount with your core fibres, and then wrap the old wrapping fibre around it a couple of times. Then you need to start wrapping with your new length. This will secure the end of the old yarn and also keep the beginning of the new yarn in place. Once you've completed that round, your joining stitches are going to want to sit neatly between 2 stitches from the last round. You can refer to the written tutorial for these cones on my blog for some extra tips on spacing. You can see here that I'm just starting to gently shape the basket, just using my thumb to add a little pressure as I'm working. Keep checking your work on your cone just to correct the shaping, and when you get to 3 or 4 rounds you're going to want to start working it in place. Again, use your thumbs and your fingers just to mould to the right shape for the cone. When you're working coil around an object, it's really important to take the time to keep stopping, having a look at it from all angles, hold it in your hand, really get to know that object so that you can make any tiny adjustments to get a really good fit. You might find that your work wants to swivel around that stem now that you're working it in place, but you need to try really hard just to keep it in the same place because the cone's not going to be the same shape all the way around. It's up to you how far you want to carry on up the cone, but you want to add a little bit of your own work and not take too much away from nature's own beautiful artistry. When you're ready to work the last round, you're going to want to stagger the finish of those core fibres. Cutting one fibre away at regular intervals is just going to make your coil work graduate to the finish rather than having a weird little step at the end. You'll want to make sure that your last strand reaches all the way to your chosen finishing point. Now carry on wrapping, taking care to catch in the ends of all of those strands. When you get to about the last centimetre of core fibres, you're going to want to make just joining stitches with no wraps in between. You can stop when there's no more core fibre showing. To finish, use your needle to pass the thread under that last section of joining stitches. I find that it helps to put my thumb down over those stitches and then pull really tight on the thread. It just gives a much neater finish. And that's it, you're all done. I really hope you've enjoyed trying this tutorial.